All right, everyone, buckle up, because today we are diving deep, deep into the world of landing that computer vision engineer job.
That's right.
You ready to knock this interview out of the park?
Absolutely.
We've got the ultimate guide thanks to RoleCatcher's incredible career and interview guides.
Yeah.
No more stressing about those curveball questions, right?
Yeah.
We're going to tell you exactly what to expect.
We'll have you hitting a home run.
Love it, love it. Okay, so first things first, for anyone who might be new to this, what exactly does a computer vision engineer actually do?
Well, at its core, it's about giving machines the gift of sight. We're talking algorithms, design, building, all separate, so computers can process and understand images and videos just like we do.
Okay, so we're talking next level stuff here, right? Not just your average coding gig. This is blending human sight with the power of AI.
It's pretty amazing stuff. And the applications are everywhere. Think self-driving cars, those incredible images used in medicine, robotics. We're even on the edge of things we haven't even thought of yet.
Which is why this field is just exploding right now.
Yeah.
Huge potential. But we've heard those interviews can be tough. So what's the first question our listeners should be ready for?
Get ready for. Explain your experience with computer vision algorithms and techniques. It's broad, yeah, but that's intentional. They want to see that solid foundation.
It's kind of like that classic tell me about yourself question, right? Seems simple, but there's an art to it.
100%. This isn't the time to rattle off every algorithm you've ever heard of. Think about how they actually work, when to use which one, and the real key, connecting it back to your own experiences.
So let's say I used edge detection on a project. I wouldn't just say, I know edge detection. I'd go deeper.
Yeah.
Explain it, why it mattered for that project, how I used it to get results.
Now you're getting it.
Right.
And here's a pro tip, tailor those answers. Research the company, the specific role, and if they're all about, say, self-driving cars, lean into algorithms that fit that world.
Show them you did your homework. You're not just hoping something sticks.
Exactly.
Okay, what's next?
Let's get real world. Question 2 is, how do you handle missing or noisy data in computer vision?
Because, let's face it, data out in the wild, rarely picture perfect.
You got it. Think about a security camera with a blurry image or a dataset with gaps. You gotta have strategies ready to deal with that.
So what do you do?
That's where your toolkit comes in. Things like interpolation filling those data gaps or denoising algorithms to clear things up.
And this is where you prove those problem-solving skills, right?
Yeah.
Not just, I know this technique, but this is how I've actually used it to get results.
Exactly. Maybe a denoising algorithm boosted your object recognition model's accuracy, or you found a workaround for a dataset missing critical info. Those real examples speak volumes.
Proves you can handle the real world, not just textbook scenarios. All right, hit me with number 3.
Get ready to talk tools. Explain your experience with deep learning frameworks such as TensorFlow and PyTorch.
Ah, the power tools of computer vision.
You said it. Different tools for different jobs. Knowing how to use the right one effectively, that's key.
So no more, yeah, I've used TensorFlow. More like, here's what I used it for, the challenges, and how I overcame them.
Exactly. Zero in on the frameworks they mention in the job description. And if you can link it to real projects, even better.
And this is where I think RoleCatcher's AI is a game changer. It digs into those job descriptions so you can highlight those super relevant skills.
It's like having a secret weapon in your back pocket.
Right. It's all about showcasing what you bring to the table.
100%.
All right. So question number 4, what do we have?
This one's all about measuring success. How do you evaluate the performance of a computer vision model? Building something cool is great, but you have to know how to prove it actually works.
Right. Like anyone can bake a cake.
Exactly.
You got to know if it's any good.
You need to be ready to talk about things like precision, recall, F1 score, all those metrics that tell the story of how your model performs.
And cross-validation too, right? Like testing that cake recipe in different ovens to make sure it's consistent, not a fluke.
Exactly. It shows you're thinking about robustness, how well it'll work in different scenarios. Really crucial for real-world applications.
Okay, question number 5. This is about taking a good model and making it even better, right?
Exactly. Question 5. How do you optimize a computer vision model? It's that fine-tuning, like getting a race car perfectly tuned for peak performance.
I love that analogy. So we've got the engine, the wheels, but now we need those tweaks to really get an edge.
Exactly. Hyperparameter tuning, finding the perfect settings, and regularization, making sure your model isn't just memorizing data, but actually learning.
So instead of just explaining these, I should be ready with concrete examples of using them in my own projects.
100%. Did changing one parameter suddenly boost your accuracy? Did you use a specific technique for a tough data set? Those details make your experience come alive.
And again, this is where RoleCatcher's AI can analyze those job descriptions, right?
Yeah.
So we know what skills are most valued.
It's like having that personalized roadmap for your prep.
Love it. Okay, on to question number 6, and I feel like this one's about staying ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. Question 6 is, how do you stay up to date with the latest developments in computer vision? This field moves fast. You got to prove you're learning constantly.
It's like having a subscription to Computer Vision Weekly, new ideas all the time.
That's a good way to put it. Mention those resources you actually use. Journals, conferences, online learning platforms, whatever keeps you sharp.
And don't forget those open source projects. Contributing, or even just following along, shows you're plugged into that community.
It's huge for learning, seeing different approaches, staying on the cutting edge.
Okay, question number 7. This one feels like it's about bringing it all together. How do you ensure the accuracy and reliability of computer vision models in real-world scenarios?
This is where it gets real. No more perfect data sets. Now it's the messy, unpredictable real world.
Self-driving cars in traffic, medical imaging with all its variations, security systems dealing with crazy lighting.
Exactly. They want to know you can handle the unexpected. Talk about challenges, lighting, angles, things obscuring the view, and how you tackle them.
So I might mention things like data augmentation, creating more training data to make my models more robust.
Right, perfect example. Or transfer learning using a pre-trained model as a starting point. Super helpful when you have limited data.
It's like getting a head start from a model that's already seen it all.
Yeah.
All right, on to question number 8.
So for question 8, get ready to talk about image segmentation. Explain your experience with image segmentation techniques.
Image segmentation. Okay,
Yeah.
so it sounds pretty straightforward, but I'm guessing it's more than just slicing up an image.
You got it. Think about a picture with lots of different objects. Image segmentation is how a computer tells them apart, like coloring each object so it understands what's what.
So instead of seeing a jumble, it sees cat, tree, ball, like that.
Exactly.
And what kind of real-world stuff uses this?
Oh, tons of things. In medical imaging, doctors can use it to automatically spot tumors in scans. Or for self-driving cars, knowing the difference between a pedestrian and, say, a fire hydrant. Kind of important.
Yeah, no kidding. So if I'm asked about my experience, it's not enough to just define it. I need to show I know how to actually use it.
Exactly. Talk about specific techniques you've used, thresholding, clustering, even deep learning approaches, and always bring it back to those real projects.
Got it. Real-world experience is key. Okay, last question laid on me.
All right, this one's a bit technical. Get ready for, what is your experience with GPU computing and how do you use it in computer vision?
GPUs, those are the powerhouses, right?
Right.
Especially with how much visual data we're talking about.
Absolutely. They're like adding a turbocharger to your models. GPUs speed up training and processing, crucial for anything real time.
So instead of waiting hours for a model to train, it's minutes.
Exactly. For things like self-driving cars, robotics, that speed is everything.
So for this one, I want to mention any experience using GPUs specifically for computer vision, any particular platforms or tools.
Exactly. Have you used CUBA or OpenCL for parallel computing? Any experience with those GPU-accelerated deep learning libraries? And if you've worked with cloud-based GPU platforms like AWS or Google Cloud, definitely highlight that.
Show them I'm ready to hit the ground running with the latest tech. Wow, we just covered 9 tough interview questions. I feel like I learned a ton, even just listening to you break them down.
It's all about knowing what to expect and being ready to showcase your expertise. But remember, acing that interview is just the beginning. RoleCatcher's career guides are amazing for mapping out your journey from there.
So true. And we touched on those different career stages. What really stuck out to you from those examples?
You know, I love how they show that clear path. You might start as an entry-level engineer, helping with data implementation, but as you gain experience, you could be designing algorithms, leading a team, maybe even heading up research for cutting-edge applications, like in the medical field.
From writing code to potentially leading a team that's changing the world with AI, it's pretty incredible to see where this field can lead.
It really is. And with the right prep, the right resources like RoleCatcher, it's all within reach.
Absolutely. So to everyone listening, you're already on the right track.
Yeah.
Curious, you're prepping, you're thinking ahead. Now it's about taking that next step.
Imagine yourself 10 years from now. What problems do you want to be solving with computer vision?
Think about that, and then dive into those RoleCatcher resources. Those interview guides, the career insights, they're invaluable. Your dream job in computer vision, it might be closer than you think.